Welcome to EthirMedia discussion. This is the weekly discussion we are going to have we try to make it every week. This is the new channel for the English audience, basically English speaking or English listeners, listening the English discussions people. So this is the first program we're going to do today. Hopefully we're going to do this discussion every week. Please subscribe our channel or please like our channel to get more updates about our discussions. Today, particularly in this world, we can see there's a big crisis going on because of the coronavirus. So today is our discussion also about the coronavirus, how it's affected the world, all over the world, and particularly we are going to more deeply about the UK situation, how UK handling this situation. Particularly at the moment, the official report says more than 80,000 people affected by because of the coronavirus, and more than it's all over I think 64 countries. From 64 countries, around 80,000 people. This is a huge number. These numbers is increasing at the moment, and we can't say this is only the people that's affected, but the official reports so far confirm this is the official numbers that we have. So we all know this started from China, but it's now spread all over the Western countries, South Asian countries, America, and all over the part. At the moment in UK, we have so far 85 officially confirmed coronavirus.
And obviously it's an ever-changing situation with more and more people being positively tested with the virus. And at the moment, I think more than 92,000 people have been confirmed diagnosed by the virus, and but the percentage of people who have passed away as a result is still relatively low. So it's I think it's like 3,000, just over 3,000 who have passed away. And obviously, like you said, it's in more than 60 countries, and it has started in China, but it wasn't a and it still is the case that majority of the cases, which a large proportion of the cases, are still in China, with the country still trying to contain the virus and to stop it spreading. But it has now reached a stage in other countries where it is spreading quite rapidly. And I think in the European countries, Italy is one of the most affected countries, especially in the northern Italy, where I think it's over 100 people who have died, and a lot of people have been affected by it, and it's now starting to spread. I think today in UK has been the highest number of people who have been positively tested, and that is spiked the numbers to 87, I think, which is like a 60% increase from yesterday. So more and more people are being tested. But there is also a bit of frustration going on, because there is a lot of anxiety out there because people are not being tested quick enough, and they're not being given the results quick enough as well. And so there's a sense of fear looming around. And obviously in the UK, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson has announced that the NHS is well prepared for this crisis. How true that is, we can obviously discuss it later. But nevertheless, there are being some of the advice being given to how you can stop, how you can protect yourself from catching it, and some of the things include washing your hands on a regular basis, using hand sanitizers, alcohol-based hand sanitizers. But the problem is, because we live in a capitalist society where we would say it's run in the interest of profits, even these hand sanitizers, because there is a high demand, some of these, like in Amazon, I think the price of a little bottle is gone up to £35 for a little bottle of hand sanitizers. That's how much profit they're aiming to make. And obviously there is a massive shortage in UK at the moment, where a lot of pharmacies and a lot of supermarkets have actually run out and haven't got it anymore. And there is a bit of a, and that is a fear as well. I mean, it's the fear that how do we stop ourselves from getting it? In the UK, it's still relatively not as serious as in Italy, but there is a high percentage of chance that it could actually spread. And the government estimates that 1/5 of the workforce would be affected by the virus, which is a huge percentage actually, which is 20% will be affected by the virus.
As you said, that it's spread quickly in the UK when you compare to yesterday's and today's results. There's some question: how much this UK government prepared to stop the spread, or the precaution methods they're following, or how they testing the people in the NHS or the GP service or wherever it is. That is because when it started in China, all the mainstream medias in all over the world, they talk about the China system, then how they trying to stop this, and there's lots of discussions, and there's lots of like about their system. They have lots of criticism as well. But how NHS, because it's already reported that NHS has been in NHS in the crisis. It's there was a cut. There's a lots of cut in the NHS, and there was a very shortage of staff in the NHS and social care as well. So in this kind of situation, how much UK government prepared, or the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson mentioned that they will prepared. Is it true?
Well, you always have to take whatever Boris Johnson says with a pinch of salt. And we have talked about this on a number of different occasions, but the NHS, the National Health Services in Britain, is one of the proudest gains that was won by the working class who fought for it and have actually got it. And it is still one of the most important gains made by the working class. And under the new Labour and the Tory government, and including the current Boris Johnson, there has been an onslaught on the NHS, where it has been privatised bit by bit, where they're selling off NHS, and obviously we know the pharmaceutical industry is completely privatised, but we also see a very underfunding for the NHS, which has been a big debate even during the December general election, where Boris Johnson promised that he's going to put more money into national health services, partly because if he said anything else, people weren't going to listen to him as well. And obviously there's a bit more to the British election than that we have to talk about, but putting that point aside, for the NHS, we have been campaigning for a long time in the Socialist Party and the Tamil Solidarity that we want a fully funded National Health Service, free at the point of use, because it needs to be prepared. Healthcare is such an important thing. And I would say that the NHS is not prepared for a situation that could outbreak. And obviously the nurses and the doctors are absolutely amazing. They are already they're already overworked and underpaid. We've seen junior doctors taking strike action not long ago. And we do know that our national health and the staff at the National Health Services are doing tremendous work, and they are, stepping up to do more and trying to contain and also help people in need. But there has been a number of reports that are coming out saying how much, even people are still struggling to get a bed, for example. People are struggling to get the right kind of care needed, and all of this is going to test the NHS when this virus spreads even further. Or they have set up a 111 phone number where you call up if you think you have symptoms of the coronavirus, and already it's been subscribed enormously, where you get, I think, more than 45,000 calls, I think, and all of these are tests, and there isn't enough in the NHS to be able to answer those calls, to get people tested quickly, to get the results out. So even at the initial stages, it is struggling, and we can tell that it's going to struggle further. But nevertheless, it is still one of the health services, still one of the well attended, and we do have staff who, work day and night on it. And what the government is, they put forward proposals on what they're planning to do, including bringing back people who have retired in the NHS to come back and do the shifts and to help cover, which again shows how much understaffed the NHS is actually. But they're also thinking of doing some extreme measures, including closing down all schools and public spaces, like stop people gathering and stuff like that. And the government is encouraging people to, if they think they have any kind of symptoms related to coronavirus, to take time off and to stay in isolation to stop the contagious, to stop it spreading. But the problem is that we at the moment in England have in Britain we got a large percentage of low-paid gig economy workers, people in retail, people who, if they don't go into work, would not get paid. And the worry is that if because you have to pay the rent, and a lot of families, I think two-thirds of the families are one paycheck away from being homeless. So these families are quite desperate. There has been a decrease in women's mortality rate in the poorest parts of Britain, which has a report that came out last week. So people are a bit desperate, and if they are worried in any way whatsoever they are not going to get paid, they would not take the precaution needed. And that's why one of the demands that we're putting forward is that full pay for anyone that wants to work from home, that anyone feels, and if it gets worse, then that should be guaranteed for every single employed, every single worker that is in need of it. And it's absolutely vital that the government, they have made an announcement today that the sick pay will start from day one rather than day 4. But it is only if you have been positively tested. So not if you take precautions and stay at home. So there is still a worry that the government policies are going to not help with the containing it, because workers are desperate to work.
But NHS says if you have symptoms, then you have to isolate yourself 14 days at home. Right.
14 days at home. 14 days at home. They are asking anyone who has any symptoms to order food in, to make sure that you get your friends and families to do your errands and stuff like that. But if you are a working class, on a low pay, on an insecure job, what is the likelihood that you'll be able to get a takeaway every now and then? You know what I mean? It's so outrageous. These are the things that they're putting forward, but with no concrete policies needed to actually implement them. Instead, they're just saying, just take measures needed. But the point is, we are in a bit of a struggling stage in Britain with the highest level of pay stagnation, which still exists, and all of this is going to be a contributing factor in workers not taking the measures needed.
Yeah, when you talk about when you talk about the takeaway, I realize something that people are openly advised don't take. Because there's most Chinese restaurant here, don't go and eat there, and don't like people are not sitting sometimes sitting next to Chinese citizens here. So this is kind of like, and people have fear as well as it's growing as kind of like racism in this time. How we can see this?
Well, I think first of all, I would say that any ordinary person who is worried when you are on a public transport with anyone that is having a chesty cough, regardless of whichever background there is, I think there is a genuine fear going on at the moment. So we shouldn't we shouldn't take that as a form of racism. But at the same time, there has been an attack, especially from the government, top down, where they are encouraging these kind of riots especially on Chinese ordinary people. And we have seen certain individual attacks take place. And most importantly, I think you're right that there is I think the Chinatown economy has reduced by two-thirds since the outbreak of the virus. And there are a lot of Chinese restaurants which are, which are quite quiet at the moment because people are not getting Chinese food, which again is a form of the virus, how many people have actually genuinely been affected, what are the symptoms, all of these genuine informations are not being released. Instead, there's a bit of a scaremongering, especially in the form of an anti-migrant scaremongering, saying that it is because of them that is taking place and is spreading. And obviously, we oppose any form of racism, regardless of race, gender, sexuality. We oppose all sorts of discrimination. And we think that's wrong. That shouldn't happen. And we are in solidarity with any people who have been affected by individual acts of violence against them. And we absolutely condemn that.
Oh, yeah. Another thing is, like, recently the report says in the mainstream media as it was released, like, in the economic crisis, they mention the economic crisis going to be economic crisis even worse than 2008 economic crisis. So we have to discuss about that one as well. But I think so we have some technical issue in our sound system, so we are not able to continue this discussion at the moment. We're going to have discuss about the economic crisis and what we propose that we have to do. Those things we have to, because every time when we criticize something, people obviously ask, okay, what is your proposal? What do you propose at this situation? So unfortunately, we are not able to continue the discussion at the moment. But hopefully, when everything is fixed, or in another day, we're going to have this discussion separately. So sorry for the inconvenience in the discussion which has happened in our sound system. We hopefully continue our discussion. We hopefully see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.